I know y'all like to get a good whisk shot. Whisk it. Whisk it good. Hey New York Times cooking family, it's Chef Millie Peartree here. Today I am making a Southern caramel cake. So Southern caramel cake is a quintessential Southern recipe. It's just as delicious as red velvet cake, pineapple coconut cake. So this cake is actually one of the cakes I made when I had my former cupcake company. So I had an array of different cakes and cupcakes, and this was just one of my favorite recipes to go to. I didn't really grow up on made from scratch cakes. I used to make cakes with my sisters, more or less from the box. Nothing wrong with a little store-bought help, but one thing about recipes, you could always make them your own. So we're gonna go into the ingredients. So what we have here is unsalted butter. At room temperature, we have buttermilk, we have some room temperature eggs, vanilla, and self-rising flour. For every 1 cup of self-rising flour, it has 1.5 teaspoons of baking powder and 1/2 teaspoon of salt. Second thing we're gonna do is preheat our oven at 350 degrees Fahrenheit. I don't know what the Celsius is, but if you work in Celsius, do a Google search and do the correlation. Now at this point, we're gonna grease 2 pans. So I'm gonna use butter, but if you don't have butter, you can use non-stick cooking spray or you can use oil. So let's get started. We're gonna put it directly into our mixer. I'm gonna cream this together. But we're gonna constantly scrape down. So normally recipes say scrape down as you add eggs 1 by 1. I constantly scrape down to make sure everything is very well incorporated. I remember one time I used to make this recipe and you know how you keep the mixer going? I used to have butter just splatter all over my face. So what we're gonna do right now is we're gonna crack these eggs 1 at a time into a bowl because you never know when you'll get a bad egg. I've gotten a bad egg before and they are stinky. So we're gonna add these 1 at a time. While we have our mixer going, we're gonna take our self-rising flour and we're gonna sieve. So with our mixer on low speed, we're gonna add our flour and our buttermilk, starting and ending with the flour. And now we're gonna add our vanilla extract. It smells really good. You smell vanilla, you smell butter. Take half of this mixture into each pan. Oven time. We're gonna bake this for about 25 minutes. Now that we have our buttermilk cakes in the oven, we're gonna start our caramel frosting. And we're gonna take 1 cup of butter, unsalted. We'll melt it with our 2 cups of packed brown sugar. Salt brings everything together. I'm gonna turn the heat off. And now we're gonna add our 1/2 cup of buttermilk. And it's gonna, there you go, you hear that? So we just wanna make sure it's nice and smooth, that's all. Add it to our mixer. Sometimes I turn the mixer on a little bit too quickly, so I'm gonna put a towel around it, just in case, just in case. Tricks. Ow. Okay. If this is something that you wanna refrigerate, of course it'll get tighter when you refrigerate it and then you can frost it, but if you want that technique of the traditional caramel cake where you can pour it, you can do it directly warm on top of the cake and then it will tighten up some once it sets at room temperature. So while this is beating, we're gonna add a teaspoon of vanilla extract because vanilla is everything. This is the consistency that we're gonna go for. All right, let's check our cakes. Let's see. Ooh, they're so pretty. So you know your cakes are done when you insert a cake tester and it comes out clean. So we're gonna take a little bit of it, gonna put it in the middle of our cake. I'm gonna smooth it out some. Just a nice thin layer. Gonna get it almost close to the edge. Then we're gonna take our other cake. Oh, this is so good. I'm gonna put it on top. So this is one of those cakes, like since we're not using an actual frosting where it's whipped and it has to hold up, you can actually do it when it's close to room temperature. And we're just gonna pour this on top. Now at this point, you can let it sit in the refrigerator or you can serve it just like this. So now that we've done all this hard work, we made our buttermilk cake, we made our caramel frosting, we baked, we iced. I'm sorry, my mouth is really watering right now. And now it's time for the taste. Oh my gosh, that's so good. The cake is so moist, a nice sweet caramel flavor from the icing. I mean, it's everything that you want in a cake, like just moist and sweet, and it's not dense, it's light, it's fluffy, it's so good. I just feel like this cake is so delicious, and you could throw it together in a simple afternoon. Where's my tea? Didn't we say we was having cake and tea? See how the people do you?